Hello and welcome to another video from Armoury Antiques and Militaria and our YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So you can probably guess what we're going to talk about today, and yes, we're talking about the Martini Henry socket bayonet. Now I put it on top of this book here, the Martini Henry for Queen and Empire book. Let me move the bayonet to one side for a second. The British military, Martini Henry, Martini Metford and Martini Enfield rifles and carbines. The definitive history of the development and service 1869 to 1904 by Neil Aspinshaw. Neil was in the shop yesterday and very nice to see him, and if you're watching, Neil, thank you very much for coming in, and thank you very much for the presents you bought us. It was very much appreciated, and yeah, they're very kind of you. Neil's book, we spoke to Neil about the book at some length, and he took him a long time to write this. I think it was about 6 or 8 years it took him to write this book, and it's become literally the reference book for Martini Henry enthusiasts to go to, because it's beautifully written, well researched, and beautifully illustrated as well. So you can see items in wear during the period, the Victorian period, etc. It's very, very useful. Now, many of the books, we sold these for quite some time, are signed by Neil, and as I said, you have to have this if you've got Martini Henrys or you have an interest in that period of history. So anyway, there's the book, there it is for you, and it is available. Neil's got it on his website and stuff like that, so if you want one, you should buy one, or we've got them here. If you want one, just let us know. We can get them signed by Neil as well. He's a very nice chap. Oh, by the way, if you look on our YouTube channel and on our Instagram, and also on our YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, on the posts section, you'll see photographs of myself and Neil outside and inside the shop, which was a nice thing to do. It's just nice for people to see and put a face to Neil. And I can't recommend him high enough. Very enthusiastic, very knowledgeable, and just an all-round nice guy. So yeah, really nice to meet him. We know Neil's son as well, who comes in quite regularly, and obviously we met his wife as well, but his son comes in quite regularly, and we hope you stay safe. You know who you are and what you do, so stay safe. Okay, so there's the book. Let's move on then. So let's look at the bayonet. So this one is a socket bayonet, and you collectors out there, most of you will know this, but a lot of the people that watch our channel, don't forget, don't know all the details about antiques, arms and armour, and the names and the phrases that we use. Hence why you may get annoyed that I use basic phrases and explain them, but it's for the benefit of all, not just for you. It's for young collectors as well. This is a socket bayonet, and the reason they call it a socket bayonet is it slides over the barrel of the gun and locks into position, and it's got a socket that you'd slide it over the barrel with. Simple as that. All right, that's a simple definition. This locking ring is what you would turn to lock it onto the barrel of the gun, and it would make it secure. Now, as I say before, bayonets, no matter what bayonet we're talking about, if it hasn't got its scabbard, let me show you the scabbard, then it's worth 50% less. Yes, you heard me right, 50%. Now, with these sorts of bayonets, you often find bayonets like this that haven't got their scabbards, and as I said, bear that in mind if and when you're going to buy it from whatever source. It's really important. Now, you will find other ones that are very, very similar. This one's got no scabbard, very, very similar bayonet as you can see, but we've got different markings on this one, and I'll show you this one in just a second. This one's got Indian, Nepalese type markings on the blade. We've obviously got the English markings as well, the War Department and other markings on it as well, which you can see here. And more markings here, as I've shown you. Now, that's because the Martini Henry socket bayonet was issued to, obviously, our allies and obviously the colonies, and especially any of the units that perhaps were issued with rifles when we moved on to different types of rifles. So a good example of that is the Battle of Omdurman. Okay, 1898, Battle of Omdurman, General Gordon, blah, blah, blah. So the Battle of Omdurman, you had all of the British and English troops on the central line fighting on the battle line. The Royal Navy were behind in the paddle steamers, as you probably know. But all the English and British soldiers were carrying the new Lee Metford rifle, different rifle, okay? And the colonial troops, the Sudanese and the Egyptians on the flanks of that line, still carried Martini Henrys. And we've got evidence of that with shields we've had before from Omdurman that have been battlefield pickups, where you see holes through them in exactly the same shape as Martini Henry socket bayonets, because on the flanks you can pretty much put where that battle or that item, the shield, had been damaged. We sold loads of shields to museums, Sudanese ones from Omdurman and those sorts of periods, because they're so rare, and especially when you've got battlefield damage or bayonet holes in them, they're exceptionally scarce. So very, very popular. The last one we sent to a museum in America somewhere. But anyway, that's another variation that has been reissued. It's English and British, all marked War Department, but then it's been sent out for other troops that were serving the Crown at that time. Okay, so that's that. Pop that back on the rack. So let's look at this one that we've been originally talking about. So what have we got? Got a lovely brass mounted scabbard, and on the scabbard we've got the War Department mark. I hope you can see that. We've got a crown and an inspector's number, 21. Just check the other sides of that brass mount. Nice heavy brass this. Now, another thing to be careful of is there's lots of reproductions of these around that were made by Worldwide Arms and all sorts of factories in India and China and stuff. Brass has a specific colour, and you need to get used to old brass compared to new brass. Very, very different in colour, and you can tell straight away. If you don't know what you're doing with brass or how to tell the difference, come into the shop and I'll show you comparisons and you'll soon learn. So, moving down, we've got the teardrop here, which goes through the frog, which will be carried on the belt, so that just pops through the frog. And we've got these brass, if you like, rivets on the scabbard. And then we get down to the foot, we've got the War Department mark here on the foot again, down here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that in shot. Any other marks, just checking on the other side. We've got nice images or sort of marks on the back here where it's been carried and knocked against things, because brass is easy to get damaged, as you can see. But nice evidence of use. Quite often with these triangular socket bayonets, you'll find the scabbards are in horrible condition. The stitching's all gone or they've been over-restored. This one is untouched, original, and perfect, just how you want to find them. I know I say that a lot, but we only buy stuff that's really decent because we've got to have our collector's eyes. Our collectors and the people we deal with, our clients, want the best items with the best provenance. That's why we don't buy from auction. We buy from families and wonderful things that we find. So let's take it out of the scabbard and I'll bring you back. Okay, so welcome back. So let's have a look at the markings. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. So we've got markings here, War Department, another inspector's mark, Enfield 27, got dates and stuff down here, and issue numbers that have been scrubbed out because obviously it's been issued a few times to different units. Let's get my little pointer, it's a little bit easier. So you see the marks here, one there, one there, one there, here, here, here. Nice lot of markings on this. Turn it over to the side, we've got more markings here. Nice to see. Turn it over again. And if you see me touch the blade, don't panic. It's going to be cleaned afterwards, so don't worry. More numbers here. Government inspection crown with a letter and inspector's number there. Really nicely marked, this one. As I say, I'll use a tissue, but if I touch it, don't worry about it. It's going to be clean. Blade's in really great condition. Just minor staining, no pitting. Good form, good shape, and exactly what people are looking for. Now on these particular bayonets, you've got to look also at the socket. Sometimes you'll get maker's marks and inspections marks around the actual neck of the bayonet here, and also on the socket. So always check that. You find that on Brown Best bayonets and earlier bayonets as well. So just check. Really, really important. You go over it with a fine tooth comb, and then you can look up all of the inspector's marks and perhaps where it was issued to and the like. So just bear that in mind. Okay, I'll pop it back in the scabbard, so it's a bit easier to handle. Now it's important with the scabbard, I'll just tell you this as well, because with these you've got a triangular scabbard arrangement at the top here, and so many people put it incorrectly, but it's really straightforward. Just hold it in the right position and it slides in just fine. But just watch people. If you're letting people handle perhaps a bayonet that you own or you possess, just watch them, because they'll jam things in, they'll push it through the side of the leather, they'll damage your property. So give them rules when they handle things, because people, I've got to tell you this, people don't respect your property. So just make sure you give them the rules before they touch anything or you let them handle anything. Because believe you me, like a Japanese sword, you say don't touch the blade, don't breathe on it, all that sort of things, whatever you want to say to them. And what do? The first thing they do is try and touch it to see how sharp it is. People are a bit silly sometimes, so make sure you trust the person that wants to inspect your property, and just make sure they look after it, because it's only original once and you don't want any damage caused to these objects. So anyway, here we have the socket bayonet. I've told you about that. So what about in the book? What does it say about it? Well, I've told you about the book, The Martini, Henry, Queen and Empire by Neil. Let's go to a page I've marked already for you. And in one section of the book, you'll find we've got all about the bayonets that are available, and it's got all the different types of socket bayonets that are available or were available to the Martini Henry, and how to identify them from the marks and the features, which is very interesting reading. And I highly recommend that you do read it, because it just puts you in a better position, and you can see the variations of bayonets here, for example. But it's a comparison of the converted common long socket bayonets, which these are referred to. Note that the 303 example above, this one here, sits under the barrel rather than on the side, as its .450 577 predecessor does, this one. So it's all about the position of the socket and where it would sit on the rifle. And down the bottom here, you've got some good examples of pictures of Martinis and the different types of bayonets they would take. So again, I would say to you, I highly recommend this book, guys. Books are gold, really, when it comes to well-written books by decent people who actually really are passionate about their subject. Now, Neil definitely is passionate about the subject of the Zulu War and also the weapons that were used during that period. He shoots those items. He's showed me loads of photographs yesterday of him out at Isla Luana and in South Africa, where a lot of the battles took place, and his knowledge really is second to none. So we have a lot of time for Neil, and he's very down to earth and very, very helpful. So if you ever need anything, just let us know, and if we don't know, we can always ask Neil. Anyway, so there's the book, there's the bayonet, really, really interesting, and a really nice one. We're so proud to have this in the shop, because so often they're in ratty condition. Nobody wants them like that. And if you've got a Martini Henry, a nice early one, and you want a socket bayonet for you, then this is the one you want, definitely, because it's beautifully marked and Zulu War period marked as well. So quite scarce. So anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Look out for our next video. We do 30 videos a month, and you're always welcome to visit us down here in the shop. As I keep saying to you, we have loads of visitors that are increasing by the day, because our reputation is getting out there by our videos, by our social media presence, by word of mouth, which is very, very important. And we're getting more and more visitors and more of word of mouth from people that, you know, that we're one of the most trusted antiques, arms and armour dealers in the country. And we've got a 5-star Google business rating for buying, selling and appraising. And we're honest, straight down the line people that value history. We're historians, and we're very different from the rest. All right, so you know that, and if you don't, research us, you'll see it's absolutely true. Anyway, you watching this video, give us a thumbs up, put some comments down below. We're happy for any comments as long as they're not provocative. Any questions, let us know. If you want to add any information about the stuff we've talked about, please put it down below, and we'll be happy for you to put comments to help collectors and other people learn about the subject we're talking about. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps the algorithm. It also gets our videos out there to the masses, and we can help and prevent young collectors making mistakes and buying the wrong things that are fake or in terrible condition, etc., etc. Well, thank you for watching. We hope that you find the objects that you're looking for in your collecting. And if you are after something quite unique and you're having trouble finding it, let us know. We've got a wants list, and you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that comes through the shop here at Armoury Antiques and Militaria, because we're one of the most trusted in the country, and people bring us stuff from all over the country, all over the world, and we visit people all over the place, and they come to us too. So if you want something honest, decent and in wonderful condition, come and see us. Stay safe, and we look forward to doing another video for very soon. Thank you for watching.